The United Kingdom is a cosmopolitan community where you have people from all over the world, from Asia, Latin America, Africa. So it provides a platform for which you could engage other minds. The reason why I chose Ruskin College is because of its historic contribution to the promotion of social and economic welfare across the United Kingdom and again across other regions. Ruskin College for the past 120 years have produced very good quality materials across the world. For instance, in 1945, Clement Attlee, who was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, was a product from Ruskin College. Again in 1999 to 2007, the Deputy Prime Minister of England, known as John Prescott, under Tony Blair's regime, was also a product of Ruskin College. There are litany of people I could mention. For instance, Dennis Skinner, who is a long-standing left-wing backbencher in the United Kingdom. These are individuals who have contributed immensely to shaping the politics and trade unionism in the United Kingdom. Again, you must also understand that England emerged from a tradition of being controversial, adversarial, traditional in terms of their approach in labor relations, and you can talk about the Thatcher regime. But after a while, they wanted to experiment with what we call the partnership approach to industrial relations. The same thing happened in Ghana, where because of coup d'etat and some other approaches in industrial relations that did not really augur well for us. And obviously there's a need for us to adopt a model which could actually rebuild a strong labor front in Ghana. I thought that the right place to pursue that education is Ruskin College, and indeed it actually honed my analytical skills, labor relation expertise to be able to come back to Ghana and impact in my organization. With the Chevening Scholarship, I call it the prophetic prestigious award that identifies future potential leaders. And I thought that it was the only platform for which I could have that opportunity to build and to develop my capacity. So yes, I checked it online and I saw in 2005 that there was a program that perfectly suited the kind of education that I was looking out for. Again, I also realized that it's quite flexible, and they've got such academic programs that makes you come out not just being academically good, but again, it also provided you with experience to understand the culture and be able to understand the way the environment works. I mean, you understand how Oxford plays out in the whole world in terms of the name that it has actually obtained as being one of the best across the world. So yes, Ruskin College was good, but Chevening Scholarship was the right vehicle to get to Ruskin College. When I got to England, I kept hearing Abaya, Abaya, Abaya. So my first shock was that I know Abaya to be a native name in Ghana. So when I hear Abaya, I ask myself, what are they saying? The phonics, the diction was quite different from what I was used to. Then later I discovered that it actually meant, how about you? When you ask, how are you? The response was, how about you? But I couldn't figure out the Abaya. So that was one of the first shocks. Again, the food. I was used to benku and fufu and all kinds of things, and these are English meals. They would set the table, bring it, and it was quite difficult to adjust to the British oriented typical food. You know what I'm talking about. So I remember one time I went to my dean and I said, listen, I am not getting on well with the kind of food that you serve me. And he asked me, what do you want to eat? And I said, okay, there's a food in Ghana called banku. And he hopped out of his chair and he said, even the sound of the food vibrates my body. There are different people that you meet there. You are learning from the Asians, you are learning from Latin Americans, and so on and so forth. So it was the right environment to be able to learn. And I am very grateful that I got this opportunity to be able to study on the platform of the Chevening. Travel to Europe, to the European Parliament, to undertake a research to understand how the European Parliament plays out in the whole academic setup. You are looking at your dissertation. You are looking at the fact that you have an intense academic program rolling every now and then. Lectures was, you can't joke with it. Your research and your presentations must be on time, and so on and so forth. You have such committed student body. You have lecturers who are also very committed as well. So the whole academic environment is actually ripe to develop your capacity. The library facilities, access to books, access to materials is just there. When I returned from England, we needed to, the Ghana Federation of Labour, as I said earlier on, is the second labour centre in Ghana. We needed the human resource capacity to be able to champion a model which was a deviation or a digression from what is the typical trade union approach to engage in business, and that was a partnership approach. I really studied a lot about the English partnership approach, which was introduced by Tony Blair and John Prescott in their time, because they realized that the adversarial approach was actually not progressive. So the Ghana Federation of Labour engaged management in dialogue, having training workshop to kind of move employees from what they were used to being more of a dialogue, having conversation at the table. And that has actually worked out well. It reduces strikes and unnecessary demonstrations. It saves business time. And again, it also ensures that incomes and jobs are protected as the world of work changes with time. So that experience was phenomenal. To return and to be able to contribute back to society, there are measurable indicators, okay, that you can check to be able to understand that there has been a certain gradual shift from the way labor organizations actually conducted business and to what we do now. I have negotiated several agreements across the sectors, from the mining sector, agriculture sector, manufacturing industry, and so on and so forth. And the approach that I've always adopted is a partnership approach to industrial relations, which in my opinion has worked well in terms of the collective agreement, in terms of the maintenance of job and job security. So these are experiences that, in my personal opinion, was obtained or acquired whilst I was on the study in England. It's impacted my career in several ways. The GFL, which is the organization that I work for as a labor center, worked hard to ensure that there's an amendment in the labor laws in Ghana. The previous law did not recognize trade union pluralism. Now we have freedom of association. The setting up of a labor court in this country was one of the strongest campaign of the Ghana Federation of Labour. The setting up of the Labour Commission, and so on and so forth. There has been institutions that have been put together, consequence of the sustained campaign of the Ghana Federation of Labour. So what I'm saying is that the capacity that the kind of experience that we acquired in our exposure on the Chevening platform opens you up to be able to appreciate how things happen in the rest of the world. With Chevening, we are in the better position, okay, to be able to inform policymakers as to how we can bridge these gaps and provide a certain consultative or policy advice on some of these things to ensure that we have a Chevening Alumni chapter that is quite relevant. I am very positive that if we continue to benefit from the Chevening program, it will help to be able to develop this economy and develop to the highest height.